is going to cost him.
Really just made the move to the Senior World Championships. Was the World Junior Vault Champ 2019. World Championships, the senior level that year in Stuttgart was supposed to be the lead up to the Olympics then, and obviously the pandemic delayed those.
You can see him putting honey on his hands there, so we could get sticky hands on the table. No slip and slides today.
But you got to have just the right amount.
Just the right amount.
14.666. Execution over 9. It comes down to that second vault now.
Landed in quite a bit of a squat there. Once again, the landings. Execution is going to matter if these athletes want to make that podium. See, great block off the table. Quite the chest down. If your chest is parallel to your knees, that's a sign that the chest is too low, and that's going to be quite the deduction there.
So, John, we wait on this number for the second vault, though. A couple of guys left. Your thoughts on their chances to even approach that top number?
I don't think the top number is going to be threatened. I think right now the race is really for that bronze medal, honestly. Radovilov from Ukraine put up a good number as well, executed both of his very difficult vaults at a high level. How about Souza, though, just hanging in there? First guy to go in the final, and Laura, you can probably attest to that, having been in the final. Going early, it's not easy to put up a big number that stays on the podium at all when you start a final, no?
Yeah, it's almost like going into a talent show. And you're up first, and you get an idea of what everybody else is going to do, but you're up first. You're setting the tone for everyone. If you do something, oh, here we go.
And just got bumped from the top 3, Souza did. So Bertinette into third place with 2 gymnasts left. At least right now on the podium, Carlos Yulo, good chance to go back-to-back with another gold medal.
He represents Armenia,
Artur Javtjian from Armenia, who qualified in first, the 30-year-old who won an Olympic bronze medal in vault in Tokyo, 3-time Olympian.
Mid to high 14s is what's on the podium right now. So let's see if he can do it. That was a stuck landing. The height was impressive.
Wasn't where he wanted to land, but yeah, he stuck the landing.
From the angle, it was a little hard. It looked like he landed out of bounds.
I think he did. John, a little bit to the side here.
Yeah, a little bit, but you know what? He did the same thing in qualifications. He had a 1/10 deduction on both of his vaults for having 1 foot over. The big deal, though, is when he lands, first of all, he stuck it, and we said somebody's going to have to stick it to catch the leader. But look at his right foot when he lands. That is right on the edge. And remember, 1 foot over the line it's a 1/10, and that's not going to kill you. 2 feet over the line is 3/10 of a point. That if he does get gold, if he gets to the top of the podium, that 1 inch of separation, in my opinion, will likely be the difference.
Yeah, that previous angle, we could see that right foot. It appeared to be in entirely.
It's nerve-wracking knowing Okay, your first vault was fantastic. Now this second one really has to come into play.
Yeah, there's a 15. Remember, that's what we saw from Yulo. So another vault still to come. You average the 2. Right now, the average that leads 14.95. Saw his brother Vagan compete yesterday. Artur now a chance to perhaps win the gold medal. Certainly a medal.
A small hop on that landing. Definitely gets him on the podium. I'm just curious to know where.
Yeah. Crowd believes he's got a chance. Coach believes he's got a chance. John, you think?
Oh my gosh, I knew you were going to put me on the spot. I think it's, I got a tie, honestly. I mean, he got a 14.9 in qualifications on this vault. It starts at a 15.6. You be the judge. It's clean in the air. He takes, I think, a 1/10 hop. If the judges think that hop is a 3/10 hop, I say no. If they say it's a 1/10 hop, I've got a photo finish.
Wasn't much of a hop. It's definitely there. Well, that angle looks a little bit longer.
They're allowed to hop 1 foot to keep it to a 10th. But if it's more than that, it's 3/10. You be the judge. It's going to be, it'll be very interesting. That, to me, is the deciding factor.
Whose foot? I mean, it's right on the edge. We'll see. We'll see what they have. 14.95 is what the number. Oh, we got it. 15.1 for the second vault. Into first place, Artur Davtyan from Armenia. So Carlos Yulo, who won the gold last year, now into second place. Matavilov currently in third with 1 more to go. So it comes down to the man from South Korea, Lee Jun-ho, the 27-year-old who qualified in 6th place. Pretty big hop at the end.
Low chest as well.
Fifth time at the World Championships, and now a second vault coming up to try to make it to the podium.
It's almost like he wasn't ready for the landing. Sometimes the floor hits you and you're not hitting the floor. You land, you're a little too low, and all of a sudden it's like, oh dear, the floor is there.
I'm going to write that down. I like that. Sometimes the floor hits you, you don't hit the floor.
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah,
Got to be ready for that landing in the air.
Stayed in.
Little low from the table. A lot of times you'll notice for these vaults, or even for floor, for dismounts, if there's twisting involved, we'll see arms open up to stop them.
So now the numbers that are approaching those we just saw, 14.466. Matavilov from Ukraine is in third, that bronze medal spot right now. And that number overall is 14.733. This would have to be sensational.
Chenko 2.5. Quite a few steps on that landing. I'm not sure where this is going to place him, if it will place him at all, but
Seems like the podium might be set, John.
Yeah, I think the podium is set, and I just wanted to comment on this Yurchenko 2.5, and not to call you out, Lori, but you called it an Amanar earlier, and it is for the women. But there's a Canadian right now who might be watching, and that's an Olympic champion named Kyle Schufelt, going, wait a minute, that's named after me. That's actually the Schufelt.
I learned something new. Thank you for that clarification.
Pretty much had to be perfect on that second vault after the opening number and was not on the landing. Caught the very edge of the table, didn't he?
Yeah. He's in the middle, but has a lot of power, over-rotates it, takes those few steps forwards.
So he's closing out his 5th appearance at the World Championships, 14-3-1-6 into 6th place. So the podium is set. And Artur Davtyan from Armenia, the first gold medal in this event at the World Championships for his country. Carlos Yulo captures the silver after it was gold last year. And Igor Radovilov, with so much support in this building and beyond, the bronze medal, the man from Ukraine, will stand on the podium here at the end of the vault final. So packed house applauding those men who will stand there in the medal ceremony, which will take place after the women's balance beam, which is coming up next. Davtyan, always nice to do something special, to do something that no other countryman has done. You win a gold medal in this particular event final, the vault at the World Championships. Another look at the final standings. Davtyan, the gold, Yulo, the silver, Radovilov from Ukraine, the bronze medal. So the first of 5 individual apparatus finals done today. This the final day of the 51st edition of the World Gymnastics Championships. Got the balance beam for the women coming up when we continue with the action from Liverpool. All in one place, sportsengine.com, the home of youth sports. That is where our focus will be next. The balance beam and the individual final. And it's Sky Blakely a part of this. Take it back to the women's team final. She had a fall earlier, but finished up this way, Lori.
What's going to be most important for Sky is not only to hit her routines, but hit every single one of her connections. If she can do that, she has a chance at gold. Beautiful. A little wobble, but beautiful stuck dismount.
So, one of 8 in the final. First time at the World Championships. How special that would be. She goes after gold when we continue. With the action in Liverpool, the last day of the World Championships, and it is the balance beam for the women next. There's the lineup. It includes Rebecca Andrade, the newly crowned world all-around champ, been a star, well, for a couple of years now. Really, fan base growing and growing, but solidifying that at the Worlds this time around. Sky Blakely, 17-year-old from Frisco, Texas, at her first World Championships, a part of this final. Looking for an individual medal now. Part of that team medal, the gold USA, when they won their 6th straight. So those final moments. Take it back to that team final. There was actually water dripping. It was raining outside, a hole in the roof. They eventually fixed it, but some of the athletes noticed it, didn't say anything about it or say that it affected their routines then, but could be a factor back then.
Absolutely. And not only is it nerve-wracking for the routine, but it's a safety issue as well. And it sounds like since not many have brought it up, it's not too bad of an issue, but I would have complained about it.
All right. Taken care of now. Marine Boyer from France. See that qualification score. She qualified in 4th. Here we go.
Beautiful round of flight series. We're going to notice lots of connections. It's a wobble and lots of connections. If you can do 3 in a row, you get another bonus for that. That was 3 in a row, but unfortunately the wobble will PEMDAS that out. I'm noticing lots of little wobbles here and there, telling me that she may be nervous. Another good indicator is to watch their ankles. If they have wobbly ankles, those are nerves. Here comes the dismount. Beautiful round off double pike. With those wobbles and broken connections, I'm not sure if that will be able to put her on the podium. But she was the first one, so let's see what we get.
Finished 4th on balance beam in Rio at the Olympics. No French gymnast has ever made the podium at the World Championships on this event. How does she stay on there?
My mom used to call my my feet bird claws just because they'd hook onto the beam as if a bird was on a branch. That's the best way to stay on.
John, what do you have?
Yeah, this is just a general observation in watching beam. And, you know, the judging, everyone's got issues with judging, and that's part of sports in general. But I've noticed watching beam in particular, you can see a routine that, and I understand there's idiosyncrasies in the sport, but a routine that visually looks about perfect. No wobbles, no form breaks, clean landings. And the judges will routinely come up with 2 points off. In fact, only 2 gymnasts in the qualification rounds scored over an 8 in the execution. And the reason I bring that up is we saw some visible mistakes from the first gymnast up. And the point is, if you see visible mistakes, ones that everybody in their living room go, oh, that's a deduction, that's a wobble, that's a step, you know that gymnast could be in trouble, because even if they look perfect, the judges are going to find 2 points off. Don't give them more reasons to take deductions.
It's a good point. Just as a casual observer watching, not knowing the finer points of balance beam, for example, you might not pick up. But if you see some, it is definitely a glaring error.
Absolutely. And we mentioned earlier, oh, here we've got her score. 13.3, execution 7.8. Not the greatest. We mentioned earlier that high 9s on men's vault was something that we'd see commonly. For here on women's beam, we're going to notice a lot of high 7s, low 8s if we're lucky.
Canada's best now, Ellie Black. What a World Championships it's been for her. 5th in the all-around, but helped Canada to a team medal, their first bronze.
Kicks things off with a switch half, swing down. Double turn to full turn combination, not one we see often because it's easy to break by wobbling. So you won't get that connection bonus. There's a full list of things you have to tick off in a beam routine, combining with artistry, leaps and jumps, acro.
Wow.
Small wobble, but overall, fully laid out. We see a great, healthy combination of acro and leaps and jumps and turns in Ellie's beam routine. It's visually very pleasing to watch. So dismount. 2.5 stuck landing. Fantastic beam routine for Ellie Black. You can tell she's excited about that.
That was the routine that closed it out, that bronze medal for Team Canada in the team event. It came down to her. All the pressure was on her. She came through and just did it here in the individual event. And she's 27 and just loves to compete. Says, hey, I'm not even close to being done.
It makes me so happy to see older female gymnasts out here. Watch her feet here. Ooh. Anytime your toes come off the beam, you only have 4 inches to work with. So if it's your heels have nothing to work with. Your toes can grab the beam. So if only your heels are on, that's not a very good sign. Beautiful dismount for Ellie Black. I feel so excited that just as a friend watching a friend, like Kris Jenner in that meme where she's like, "You're doing great, sweetie." And I've got my phone, I'm just taking photos. Do you know that meme?
Yeah.
Yes.
Back to what you said a moment ago about athletes sticking around. It's a positive that you like seeing that the athletes are now, gymnasts are now sticking around longer and longer in the sport.
Exactly. We've seen so many male gymnasts stick around for so long in their 30s. That's, we're told, oh, that's their prime. That's why they get to stay longer. They get to go to college. They get to compete elite gymnastics at the same time. Whereas for us, we didn't really get that chance up until recently. So to see gymnasts like Seitz on bars or Ellie Black on beam, and they're 27 and 29 years old, it paves the way for us to think, oh, we get to keep going. We don't have to stop.
Even at a younger age, a Jade Carey or Jordan Childs going to college, competing, and then coming back to compete at the elite level.
Exactly. It tells us that you don't just have to pick one, that you can have it all, and you can have that balance of elite and community in college. You can do all of that. Whereas before we had to pick, and it was a little heartbreaking. Suddenly your elite career is over because you've chosen college. No more.
13.566 into first place. That execution scored 8.066 for Ellie Black. Like how that sounds. 23-year-old who became Brazil's first world all-around champ on Thursday, Rebecca Andrade.
Starting things off with a bit of a wobble. Beautiful three-skill connection. I do believe she's going to get that. There were no wobbles or breaks in between. Her podium chance is over from that. Looked interesting to me. It didn't look like she was off. Little wobble. Continues to finish strong. Gotta say, that fall is surprising to me. Andrade is quite the strong competitor, so seeing something inconsistent like a fall always throws me off a bit. But what's important is that she finishes strong. That's quite the step on the landing. Unfortunately, her chances for podium are gone just from that fall and from that big step on the landing. Everything else was clean. She was solid. And it didn't look like she was crooked.
You know what it's like to go several days in a row at an event like this, the Olympics, for example. Mentally, after you win the all-around title, it's such a high to then have to gear it back up and keep competing. Is that difficult?
It is difficult because you get to celebrate this moment of accomplishment, and then you have to reel it all back in so that way you go and compete again. Here we've got a replay. She was a bit off. We see her tilting to the left. John, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, just kind of the big picture for Rebecca. It's been quite a roller coaster ride for this Brazilian team. You know, a lot of eyeballs on them. Maybe they could beat the Americans and win gold. And certainly for them, they wanted to be on the team podium. And Saraiva's injury, one of their stars, not being able to do all of her gymnastics in the team finals, certainly submarine their chances for any team medal. And that was a low, but she comes back and she put so much emotion into winning that individual all-around gold medal. We saw her in the bar finals yesterday, and just looked flat. She looks like that emotion has just been drained out of her. And talking to a lot of the athletes and coaches here, this is a marathon, you know, from podium training to qualifications all the way through to this moment. She's done a lot of gymnastics and a lot of emotional gymnastics, and I think, you know, that gas tank is running empty. She's got one more chance. I know she's hoping for gold on floor exercise, but I think that's really part of what we're seeing right now.
And Flavia Saraiva is still, at this moment at least, part of the 8 that will compete on floor. Injured her ankle earlier in the championships, but I think she's going to be ready to go later on today on floor. 12-7-3-3 into third place for certainly one of the stars of these championships, Rebecca Andrade from Brazil.
We've got lots of fantastic competitors here on beam finals today, so I think we're going to see some decently high scores, maybe high 13s, low 14s. That's what we're looking for.
From Hungary, Sofia Kovacs up on beam next. Two-time Olympian, 14th in the all-around in Tokyo, qualified 6th here this week.
Big wobble on that switch half. Lots of artistry rules have changed within the last quad, so we're noticing beautiful flight series. We're noticing lots of rhythm. The judges will be paying attention to, can she move? Is she fluid? Does she connect with the equipment? We have a rule where you have to dance sideways on the beam. You have to touch your stomach on the beam. If those rules aren't adhered to, you get deducted easily.
And those refresh every Olympic quad?
Yes, the code of points refreshes every 4 years. But artistry is something that's really being hammered down on this year. Just a little low. Overall, it's a hit routine on a world stage. So kudos to her. I do worry that her start value may be too low to make podium, but it will depend on what we see from the other athletes.
See what mistakes we see the rest of the way. It's been 30 years since a woman from Hungary has been on the podium at the World Championships in this event. Actually, overall.
What she did do, she did solid. So that's exciting to see.
As you watch this, can I make a point?
Yeah.
You should be able to pick your own music that's played during your routine.
Yes, I would love that.
Country Road was the first one up. All right, I get liking that. Not when I'm competing.
So funny.
Not when I'm trying to compete at the World Championships.
You know, I used to sing songs in my head while doing beam routines because I was quite the overthinker. So if I would sing a song in my head, I would stop thinking about what I was doing, and it's 1 minute and 30 seconds long. By the time you get to the course, the routine's over.
And how much of a difference would it, now I'm half kidding here, but would it make if that was the song being played? Like a song that you would choose?
I don't know how much of a difference it would make. I do worry that if we were allowed to pick the music that played during our beam routines,
I know.
we would no, but then it would become floor. Then we would have to dance to music on beam. I'm cool with that. I would make a comeback just for that.
All right, we'll see.
I think that's impressive.
See if it catches on. So that next group warming up, got 4 more to go, including Sky Blakely, the 17-year-old from Frisco, Texas, at her first World Championships. Obviously part of that gold for Team USA. Would love be on the podium, maybe win the gold medal here. As we wait for the number, just a reminder, we're just really getting to know Sky Blakely at this level, and leading up to the Olympics, at the Olympic trials, had that major injury on her elbow and surgery. It took her out of the road to Tokyo. Okay, the number, Kovac, 12.733 into third place.
Same score as Andrade, but notice that she did not have a fall. So she does have that same score, but it's because her start value was really quite low.
Yeah, execution higher. Ellie Black still the leader, though.
Go Ellie.
Oyu Shan representing China. Part of this group as well. Shoko Miyata, Azuki Watanabe from Japan. So a couple of gymnasts from Japan.
Aw,
and
babies.
future gymnasts watching.
Okay, so what's interesting about Oyu Shan, she has Sky Blakely on difficulty in terms of qualifications by 0.2, but they scored the exact same execution score. So if Sky Blakely can get all her connections, that'll put her at a 6.3 start value. She could win gold, but it all depends on what Oyu Shan does right here.
Azuki Watanabe first from Japan, though. Qualified in fifth for this final, competing in her first senior world championships.
In qualifications, Watanabe had the highest execution score out of everyone who competed. Though she had low difficulty, but this put her in fifth place for beam qualifications. That's a wobble. That's going to break that connection. She won't get the three skill bonus. Unfortunately, because of her low start value, she will be relying on execution to bring her to the podium, and I'm not sure if this will make it. Here comes her dismount. Round off 2.5. Solid landing. John, I'm curious your thoughts on this routine.
Yeah, I agree with what you said. I think the execution probably not going to do it. You know, the interesting part about the second half of this rotation of this final, if you're wondering, can Ellie Black be caught? You know, how good is that 13.566? Well, to put it in perspective, all four of the gymnasts in the second half of this final scored higher than Ellie Black's score of a 13.566. So absolutely all of these athletes in the second half can outdo that number, but who's going to do it? You mentioned we have the highest execution score from the qualification round, and that is Watanabe here. We also have the highest difficulty values coming up, which should be O and Blakely. So any one of these athletes, again, have a chance to be on the top. That score from Ellie Black, not insurmountable.
That angle and those close-ups a moment ago, giving you an idea of how narrow that beam is.
4 inches, woohoo! Love that for us. That's why bird claws are important, Terry.
Your mom was right.
My mom was. My mom tends to do that.
Always right. Yeah, I know.
She tends to always be right.
13.566 is the number for Ellie Black. Oye 13.3 in second, and bronze right now 12.733. Into fifth place, I believe they just said. So can she challenge that number? 13,566 at the top. Ellie Black. As John said, those remaining in qualification did beat that number. Got a chance. Oh, it is. 13,600. Looked excited, but maybe a little surprised, too. Hazuki Watanabe, the 18-year-old from Japan, into first place over Ellie Black. Marine Boyer rounding out the top three right now with 3 left. So here's the teenager from Texas, Sky Blakely. Because of the injury, wasn't able to go to Tokyo and compete or at least have a chance in the lead up. 6th in the all-around at the U.S. Championships. Routine underway. Part of that gold medal for Team USA here.
She'll kick things off here with a wolf turn. Great start to the beam routine, and now we'll come to a standing full, a high difficulty skill. She's had some trouble with this skill, especially in team finals. She did have a fall. Let's see how she does. And she sticks.
Every time I see that, I just shake my head.
Beautiful front handspring, front tuck. What's going to be important now for the rest of the routine, she has 2 3-skill connections. If she can get credit for these, she can win gold. Switch leap, switch half, back tuck. In my opinion, that's connected.
Wow.
We'll find out. And her last. Front aerial split jump. She skips the back handspring on that. It looks like her ribbons are coming undone. They're getting in her face.
Oh, man.
Oh. That fall is unfortunately going to cost her. Beautiful Disma. I worry that the ribbons in her hair got in her eyes. Overall, that was a beautiful start to the routine.
Boy, so close on that routine. But that's beam.
That's beam. Oh, man.
John, she had it rolling.
Yeah, she really did. It looked like she was focused and poised, and Lori can attest to you're on beam until you're not, and that is unfortunate. You know, she's the only member of this U.S. women's team, as I mentioned earlier, not to get an individual medal. Obviously, that opportunity is going to have to wait. And I asked Chelsea Memel about her future and what is she going to do? Is she going to train for the next World Championships and for Paris? Because she is planning on going to compete in college, and not everybody does that and sticks with the elite. Chelsea said that's one of the things I'm going to talk to her about after this competition's over. I certainly hope to see her back on this stage again.
Did announce back in September of last year that she's going to go to Florida, compete there, but had thought it would be after the Paris Olympics. I mean, those plans changed along the way, and there's the mistake.
So we recognize on that replay that when she took off as she was in the air, sometimes for side aerials, you start taking off and you twist before that front foot can get in the air. If you do that, you're off the beam. You have to start with square shoulders. And it looks like because of the takeoff, that's what threw her off.
And now that's the mood, waiting for this number.
It's always the waiting game. The anxious-driven waiting game.
I mean, you never know what they're going to do. Chance maybe to make it to the podium.
13-3.
13-3 is the same number as Marine Boyer, but the tiebreaker gives it to the gymnast from France. Just outside the top three. Watanabe still in first place with 2 women left. Oyushan, who qualified for beam, in first place, 7th in the all-around on Thursday.
I firmly believe that if O hits this routine, she's got gold. Dare I say easily. Bit of a wobble there, so she's missing this connection. What we're looking for is fluidity, especially in connections. If you stop moving, if your arms stop moving, if you wobble in between, ooh, that's a fall for Oh Yushan. Oh boy. Looks like that made her nervous. Keep an eye out on those ankles. We'll see lots of shakiness. After a fall, you always want to keep things moving, refresh your mind, pretend it never happened. So that way you can finish with a nice, solid routine. You never want to give up. Depending on how she does here, she could still be on the podium. Lots of falls today.
Well, that was the story early on with Beam at the World Championships, as a matter of fact. You made the statement when she first started the routine, if she hits this, you think she's the gold medalist. Obviously, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
You saw how close Sky Blakely was with a fall to being in third place, to being in a podium spot right now. Wait and see on this.
This is also why it's so important to never give up after a fall, because other competitors make mistakes too. And if everybody falls, then you're right back to square one.
Almost held it. Thought for a moment she was.
The execution on everything she does is so beautiful. Her straight legs, pointed toes. Beam is such an elegant event that when you see that quality, it really complements gymnastics as a whole. Great form on that 2.5 dismount. I'm curious to know what her score is.
Going to get that in a second. We've got one more gymnast to go. Shoko Miyata from Japan. Hazuki Watanabe from Japan currently in the lead. So it would open the door for Japan to go gold, silver. They went gold, bronze last year.
A little wave. I want to wave back. You know what? I am going to wave back.
You can. Go ahead. There you go.
Terry, you tell the world I waved back.
I'm confirming it right now. I'll wave too.
Yay! John has to wave too. The Holy Trinity.
I have no idea whether John waved.
I don't know. You know what? I'm going to say that for the sake of mankind, he did.
13 is the number, so into 5th place. So not close to the podium for Oh Yushan. And Watanabe still the leader and now cheering for a teammate. So it comes down to Shoko Miyata, the 18-year-old from Japan.
In qualification, Shoko Miyata actually came out in 3rd. A wobble there. You don't want to jinx anything, but if she hits, it's hers. Beautiful 3-in-a-row connection. There's no doubt in my mind that she got the bonus for that. Nice save on that double turn. She spins fast. We'll notice her execution as well. Straight legs, pointed toes. She keeps things moving. Each pose must flow into another, otherwise that will be an artistry deduction. Completes the requirement of touching your stomach on the beam. She's on a roll. Now we have the dismount. If she lands, it's hers. Bit of a low chest on that, but that is a hit beam routine for Shoko Miyata. Just tapping her chest.
Looking more and more, Lori, like Japan is going to go 1-2 on this balance beam event final. You've got a couple of athletes at their first senior world championship. Suzuki Watanabe, the 18-year-old, with the lead after that. She looked a little surprised at the number that she had the lead over Ellie Black at that point, and now Shoko Miyata finishes out the 8.
I think also for her, she, you know, when you're out there, of course, you don't want to watch what other competitors are doing. But at the same time, if an athlete falls on beam, you can hear the crowd go, oh, that tells us there was a mistake or a fall. So if we're constantly hearing that, she knows if I hit this routine, I could make the podium or even take gold. That's a lot of pressure for someone who is finishing out this event last. And she did it. Although that double turn to the side scared me.
Oh, now you're going
a
to
bit.
pick out mistakes the more you watch it.
Chest down here, that is going to be quite the deduction, but still, a hit routine is a hit routine.
But so you think it's gold or silver?
I think it could get gold. We'll find out.
13.6 is the number that leads right now. Hate to bring the emotion down to numbers, but that's what it's about
That is
at this moment.
that's exactly what it's down to, yeah. Oh, the nerves of waiting, trying to figure out what's my score.
Watanabe with the lead. Ellie Black in second. That number's 15, 13.5. Oh,
Wow.
third. 13.533. Look at how close it is between Ellie Black and Shoko Miyata. But it is 18-year-old Hazuki Watanabe who captures the gold medal in the balance beam final at the World Championships. Her first trip to the Worlds on the senior level. And Ellie Black keeps winning medals at the World Championships. A silver. That's some career. Shoko Miyata, the bronze medalist. And Japan goes gold, bronze once again. So close to top 3. Less than 1/10 of a point. Look at those numbers. And I know that is how beam tends to be, but man, Watanabe the gold, Black the silver, Miyata the bronze medal here in the women's balance beam final.
That was such an invigorating final. We saw ups and downs, but at the end of the day, what matters is hit routines, execution. They hit under pressure.
So 2 of the 5 individual finals, the event finals in the books here. Got 3 more to come, but straight ahead it's going to be the medal ceremony. Daxian, the gold medalist. Armenia, the gold here. Japan with Watanabe, 2 gold medalists so far. Pretty thrilling final in the women's balance beam just a few moments ago, but we started it off with the men's vault. So we got a couple of gold medalists, podiums, and the medal ceremony about to get underway in Liverpool at the World Championships.
The medal ceremony for the men's vault final is about to commence. Please welcome our medalists and presentation party into the arena. In second place and winner of the silver medal, representing Philippines, Carlos Yulo. And in third place, winner of the gold medal and world champion, representing Armenia, Artur Dantian. For those who can, please now stand for the national anthem of Armenia. The medal ceremony for the women's beam final is about to commence. Please welcome our medalists and presentation party into the arena. Presenting the bronze medal, Joanne Napoleon, World Gymnastics Championships 2022 Local Organising Committee Board Member. In third place and winner of the bronze medal, representing Japan, Shoko Miyata. In second place and winner of the silver medal, representing Canada, Ellie Black. And in third place, winner of the gold medal and world champion, representing Japan, Hazuki Watanabe. For those who can, please now stand for the national anthem of Japan. Liverpool, please show your appreciation for our World Championship medalists.
To go. You got the parallel bars for the men, the floor for the women, and we finish up with the high bar for the men, in which Brody Malone, 22-year-old from Somerville, Georgia, is one of the top contenders. With more on him, here's John.
Much of the team competition here in Liverpool, Brody Malone just didn't seem himself. The idea of a second medal at a World Championships on high bar didn't seem likely. However, he appears to have turned it around. I talked to his coach, Tom Galimi, and he agreed that he looked like a different person in the all-around finals. But he also knows to win a medal on high bar, especially a gold medal, he's going to need to be perfect. Why? Japanese gymnast Daiki Hashimoto comes in as the Olympic champion on high bar, and he is brilliant on this event. And to be honest with you, I've seen him in many huge spots on horizontal bar, and quite frankly, he just never misses. Hashimoto comes in with the highest score from the qualifying round on horizontal bar, and Brody Malone comes in with the highest score from the all-around finals on the horizontal bar. It's going to be interesting, but if you want a secret weapon, I asked Brody Malone after the all-around finals, what are you going to do to get ready for the high bar finals? And he looked at me with a big grin on his face, and he said, I'm going to eat a big bowl of ramen. Well, I checked in this morning, and word is the ramen worked, and he feels great.
Did not know that was a secret weapon or a key for the high bar, but maybe see if it works. Brody Malone, young star from the United States who won a bronze last year. Daiki Hashimoto, not only the Olympic champ on that event, but the Olympic all-around champ and now world all-around champ. Three more event finals to go, and we start with men's parallel bars. So Yuya Komoto from Japan will start things off. If you haven't seen him, you got to stick around. Go down to number 7 right there, Zhou Jingyuan from China. I mean, China's won 4 of the last 5 of these events, and what he does on parallel bars, it is absolutely amazing. Certainly the favorite coming in, and he was the first qualifier to make it to this event final. Terry Gannon back with Laurie Hernandez and John Roethlisberger, and the action continues on the final day from the 51st edition of the World Gymnastics Championships. Liverpool, they have filled the arena, M&S Bank Arena, all week long. They've been loud, not only cheering for the athletes from Great Britain who've had some great success, but also for every country's athletes here. So we close it out with these final events. Laurie, just saw a couple of thrilling finals already. The men's vault. See Carlos Yulo as a part of this, as a matter of fact. He's a busy man. And the women's balance beam. So what are you looking forward to the rest of the way?
Ooh, the rest of the way. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind, because we are on parallel bars, Zhou from China does a Pavsar better than anyone that we've seen. I mean, his execution is essentially perfect. In my opinion, he deserves a 10 on that front, but
wow.
we'll see what he does here.
Yeah.
It's just we'll be able to watch. The first word that comes to mind is composure. We'll watch how calm they are. Do they fidget their hands? Those are all deductions. But when he does P-bars, it is just cool as a cucumber.
Sensational.
It
yeah,
is. That's a great word.
Ferhat Erichan from Turkey, 2-time Olympian, out there warming up. It'll be Komoto first to go, and then Arachon, then Carlos Yulo. Josimar Calvo from Colombia will be the last one in this opening group. John, what are you looking forward to?
Well, Lori mentioned it. Zoe is unbelievable on this event. I think, obviously, if he hits, he wins. Certainly, you got to go out there and perform. But even after that, you're going to see some ridiculous parallel bar workers. There's a skill that they do now, and it looks like they're sleepwalking through it nowadays. They do it so well. It's called a front upright Diamondov. I went back to my career. I worked on that skill for 8 years. I wanted to do that skill so bad in my routine, and the thing is, I never actually successfully made it one time, and now I see these guys doing this gymnastics. They make it look compulsory. The level of parallel bars that we see today is absolutely astounding. Yes, I think Zoe wins gold if he hits, but honestly, any one of the next 7 guys could be in there for a medal, if not gold, if Zoe makes a mistake.
Hey, pick your brain a little bit more on that and how far the men have come. Parallel bars, but overall in gymnastics from the time, it wasn't that long ago, when you were winning 4 U.S. all-around titles to where we are now. It just keeps going and going, doesn't it?
It's really ridiculous, Terry. And even as I look back at my last Olympics in 2000, I look forward to the next one in 04 and 08. And even if I could have done the gymnastics 1 quad sooner, I would have won multiple Olympic medals. It advances so fast. You know, the FIG changes the rules, and you think, okay, well, it'll take some time for these athletes to catch up to these rules. And they're right there. You give them a few years, you raise the bar, and they just keep meeting that new standard. And all the events, it's crazy like that. But to me, parallel bars in a way is almost the greatest example of that. You know, we used to do one big underbar skill back in 2000, or really even shortly after that. You know, one big skill under the bar. These guys will go under the bar 5 or 6 times. They go down to their upper arms, you know, from a handstand to their upper arms and back to a handstand again, which you were lucky to see one guy in the world do that not too long ago. Now almost all of these guys do it. So it's a trapeze act. You know, you think about high bar being such a high flying event. P-bars really in a lot of ways has become its own version of a high flying event.
Hey, Lori, how about you as an Olympic gold medalist? I mean, do you sit and watch in amazement at some of the things you're watching?
I sure do. I mean, my jaw drops every time, especially for P-bars. Like, this event. Okay, so the gym that I trained at when I was little, we also had a boys team. And every so often, the girls would go on the boys' equipment and vice versa. The boys would do beam and we would do rings and P-bars. Let me tell you, I know this is obvious, but that is much harder than it looks. I could barely get myself up there, and I was already at a high level. So what we're watching today is some really fantastic stuff.
Best in the world championships and parallel bars medals on the line here momentarily. Get the bars exactly how you want them, which might be very different than the next man up there.
I once saw this post saying that we should get regular people who don't do gymnastics to come up onto the events just for perspective for the audience.
That wouldn't be pretty. People like me.
It'd be a party, though.
It would. Part of that silver medal for Team Japan, 28-year-old Yuya Komoto. Qualified in second behind Zoe.
Bit short there. Havsar right there. Keep an eye out for hand adjustments. Each adjustment is a deduction.
Komoto, who competed on parallel bars and rings and high bar, part of that team event where Japan won silver. What do you think, John?
It was fantastic. The thing is, Lori mentioned early in the routine, she said a little short, and that was the front upright stutz to handstand. I thought the same thing. You know, there's a couple of skills. Just that little adjustment in a handstand. He moved his hands a couple times. If you see the gymnast in a handstand and they kind of adjust their hand and they do it just a little too much, the judges are going to take a 10th. It looks like nothing to us watching it, but that is a 1/10 deduction. The reason I'm bringing all those nitpicky things up is because that is what the judges are looking for. And as good as this field is on parallel bars, to win gold, certainly, but to get on the podium, those things and the dismount, which is big on every event, are going to be the difference makers. But this overall, fantastic. He's setting the bar, or should I say the parallel bars high after one routine.
Yes, plural. Yeah. So Yuya Komoto, whose father Kenji was a gymnast for Japan, made it to the Olympic trials back in '84. Didn't quite get to the Olympics. Okay, so there is that number to set the standard. Execution 8-4, 14-9 is the number, Lori.
It's quite a high score. We'll have to keep that in mind for everyone who comes next.
Berhan Erican will be next. 29-year-old from Turkey. We saw Adem Abuasil win rings yesterday. So this is a two-time Olympian. 2020, he was the bronze medalist on parallel bars, the first Turkish gymnast to win an Olympic medal.
Every time they come down to their upper arms, makes the skill that much more difficult. I'm noticing lots of form breaks on top as well. We'll see these feet apart. Beautiful handstand there. Dismount.
Yeah, you saw a lot of these upper arm skills right in the beginning of his routine that Lori brought up and I talked about as well. He does about the hardest sequence of upper arm skills being done in the world, but I have to say it was the form that is going to be a difference maker for him. Just not as clean, certainly, as Komoto, who we just saw, but not as clean as some of the other best gymnasts in the world. His difficulty through the roof, but you just can't get away with moving the hands, with breaking form, things like that. Even his toe point, when you put it right up against the best guys in the world, and keep in mind in qualification, you know, the guys before and after him weren't necessarily the best guys in the world, but now he's bookended by guys who have set the standard really, really high. So when you see one guy go and then the next guy go and he doesn't point his toes quite as much, or that form isn't quite as tight, it makes the judges take more deduction. I'm going to comment.
Stuck landing at the end, though, for the 29-year-old. That bronze medal in Tokyo. Also won the bars title, European Championships a year ago, 2021. 15.066 in the first place.
I don't agree with that. I'm not going to lie. He had a very similar start value to Komoto. To me, nowhere near as clean as Komoto. So we'll see. I don't know that score will hold up for gold, certainly, but I would not have that order personally.
See if he sticks around in the mix at least for the podium. Carlos Yulo from the Philippines saw him earlier today on vault, captured the silver medal. Qualified for 4 finals and was 4th in parallel bar. Starts with this.
Compare this with the last athlete who just won. And just to also agree with John, look at his form. Look at these pointed toes, straight legs. These handstands are locked out. It's almost like he takes a deep breath.
John, how do you pick that routine apart?
It's hard. The funny part is they're going to find a 1.5 off on that routine, or over a point, I should say. But it was really clean. That mount to 1 bar was something special. You know, to go from a dynamic skill and then stop in 1 bar like that into another skill, that is something that is incredibly difficult to do. But Carlos Yulo he is known for great form, and you can see it on display here. It'll be interesting to see. I need to get a feel for what these judges are doing, because the first 2 routines, I don't quite have my hands on it yet. But after this one, hopefully I can get an idea of what they're seeing execution-wise, because so far I'm a little miffed.
Baffled and miffed. I mean, that is great form. For a man who's got to be exhausted physically and mentally at this point.
I mean, we've said this a few times now, but they've been competing for not just days straight, but also hours on end. We just saw Yulo on vault a few events ago, and now he's on another event. And it's like the time in between. You're going, and then you stop and you take a break. You get cold. And then you go, and then you stop and you take a break. That's a lot for anybody to handle.
Silver medalist at the World Championships on this event in 2021. Came in 8th in the all-around this time around in Liverpool. 15.066 is the number he's got to beat. He does. 15.366 with the execution over 9. In the mix again for a medal.
I thought that routine was beautiful. I loved his form.
Trying to become the first athlete from Colombia to medal here. Josimar Calvo, the 28-year-old who finished 24th in the all-around on Friday. Qualified in 6th for this.
A couple form breaks in the middle of skills. His handstands are beautiful.
All right, John, be a judge now.
Well, first of all, I love the dismount. Very unique ending to a routine. You do not see a lot of those double backs off the end. Again, though, I don't think he has the execution that we're going to see from some of the top athletes. You know, going back to Yulo's score, did score over a 9 on the execution, which I was surprised with, although he did get a 9 in the qualifications as well. So that, honestly, is more in line with what I expected. I expect this one to be more in the mid-8s for the execution score, and do not see this one taking the lead.
You know, you made a statement earlier that it's harder than it looks. It looks really hard.
It sure does. It sure does, doesn't it? This is not easy peasy lemon squeezy. It is difficult, difficult, lemon difficult.
I mean, look at just that. All right, so we'll see. The top number 15366, Carlos Yulo from the Philippines. We've got 4 more after we get the numbers here for Josimar Calvo. Virginie Moran from Great Britain will be the first of the 4. So it'll get loud in the building. They won floor yesterday. 14.966, not good enough to challenge the top number, but in the top 3 at least for the moment. And that man right now the top number, and the standard for the next 4 to go, 15.366. Eric John holding on to second place ahead of Calvo. So you got 4 more to go here, John. You see them, you see that number holding up? You think someone else? Well, we've got one man who I know what you think.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's going to hold up. But as you've seen, I've been wrong on this event already a couple times. So, yeah, I think he's going to still be the man to beat. That's a number he can easily get. Lucas Dauser from Germany, he's a contender as well. He finished 3rd in the qualifications, has a skill named after him, and he's sneaky good on this event with a big start value. But we also get the Brits in the second half as well. And I'll tell you what, this crowd has been loving the hometown team. They've been loving all the gymnastics, but we haven't seen a Brit in the finals yet today. And the moment they walked out, they announced them. Holy cow, I needed to put the cotton balls in my ears because it was loud. This place has been waiting to see some of the hometown team compete, and they're going to be loud again here. Could that, again, one of those X factors, could make a difference.
Yeah, Joe Frazier, you see, getting the bars ready there. Won this back in 2019, so certainly capable, although he struggled the last couple of days. But Virginie Moran will start things off. Joe will finish things off. Giarni is a man who won floor yesterday, and they raised the roof. It was loud. There he is. 24-year-old. Different emotions when you're competing at home in an event like this. Yeah, there's no doubt it can carry you through, but also there's some pressure on your shoulders.
Yeah, I also have to imagine that their comfortability on the equipment is a lot better than the other international athletes. There was once where we had an international competition held in Washington, and we had our home equipment, and it felt like I was at practice or something.
Right.
I didn't have to adjust to anything. Everything felt comfortable. I felt confident.
Saw Courtney Tulloch, member of the British team as well. John?
Yeah, you know, you brought up the hometown crowd, or we've been talking a lot about it. I had the opportunity in '96 to compete again in front of the home crowd, and I'll tell you what, I still remember walking out of that curtain for the team finals and 35,000 people yelling, waving American flags. You know, if you added up all the people I ever competed against in front of my whole life, up to that point, it probably wouldn't have been 35,000 people. I remember just taking a deep breath and going and just focus on you, because regardless, yeah, it gives you energy, but you don't want to let it get to you too much. You got to do your gymnastics nonetheless.
You don't want to let them down. They're there to see you. High hopes. So here we go. Final 4 in this parallel bars final. Gianni Regini Moran, the 24-year-old, won that gold medal on floor yesterday. Part of a fourth-place finish for the team. Oldest of 5 siblings. Went through some injuries coming off the Tokyo Games. Had surgeries on both of his shoulders and an ankle, but came back. Helped earn the team title at the European Championships for Great Britain. Was third on parallel bars there, and now trying to win this.
Bit short. Got to keep it moving.
Come on, Jake. Keep pushing. Good. Come on. Come on, then. Finish it.
Stuck landing for Gianni Regini Moran. Couple mistakes in the beginning there.
His teammates and the house loving it, though, John.
Yeah, they are. They're loud nonetheless. Laurie, you nailed it. Right at the beginning there, though, too many errors in execution. He was short of a handstand. He moved his hands at least a couple. It didn't look like a huge error maybe to some, but he did what's called the Stutz to 1 bar, and he was supposed to come back to the middle of the bar. Instead, he had to glide down the side, and that just gives him more opportunity to have deductions, which he certainly did. And so I don't see any chance of this overcoming the lead. Nonetheless, great difficulty in the routine, and certainly had the D score, but the E score is not going to be enough, in my opinion.
Last man to qualify for this final, qualified in 8th. And now waiting for the numbers. So if you don't think you can challenge the top number, that's 15.366. How about third place? 14.966. Josimar Calvo right now in that bronze medal position. We'll see. Now into 5th, 14.733. And it is still that man, Carlos Yulo, who leads the way. But three big names still to come. And 3 who have accomplished, who've made it to the podium at major events, Worlds or the Olympics. The next one up, Lucas Dowser, the 29-year-old who's the Olympic silver medalist on parallel bars, and he qualified in 3rd.
Already starts short. Those toes all the way up to the ceiling. There we go. Lots of joy in finishing that routine. How about that?
You can hear that scream all through the arena, I think.
Yeah, incredible performance. I might even go as far as saying that's as good as I have seen Lukas Dauser on the parallel bars. Laura, you mentioned a handstand at the beginning, and he took a hop on the dismount as well. But other than that, this routine, a high degree of difficulty, should start from at least a 16.6, which if everybody does the same routine they did in qualifications, he actually will start a 10th higher than the favorite Zhou from China. And the one thing he does, and this is kind of in a little bit deep dive into parallel bars, no matter where he puts his hand on the bar after a skill, he doesn't move it to adjust ever. Even if it's not in the right spot, he leaves it right where it is as he goes into the next skill. It seems like a little thing, but most gymnasts will slide the hand. They'll move the hand. Every time that happens, it's a 10th off, and that can mount up to 3 or 4 tenths over the course of a routine. And if I'm putting it into context of another sport, Terry, you're a golfer. It's like that golfer that has the touch around the green. You don't know how they do it, but no matter how they put the club on the ball, they always have that touch, and that's what Lukas Dauser has on parallel bars.
John, do you think the judges pick all of those things up?
Yeah, they pick up on that, and they know, and they see that hand stay stationary. Not very few in the world can do it as well as I saw him just do that.
All right, we'll wait for the number now. We'll see. Yeah, oh yeah, 15.5 for sure. Solidly into first place.
It's like he got off the equipment, finished his routine, and knew.
He knew.
You could tell.
Yeah. So Yulo now in second behind Lukas Dauser, the Olympic silver medalist from Tokyo. Zhou Jingyuan up next, and he has been sensational. Qualified first for this final. 2017, 2018 world champ on parallel bars. China has won 4 of the last 5. Here he goes for gold.
You can see his precision. Wobble there. Beautiful pop star. Saw even his arms flare to take a photo of him in the air.
That might have been the worst routine I've ever seen him do. And it was unbelievable. Again, Laura, you said, see the precision. However, I have not seen him have quite that many balance checks in a routine before. There was twice where he kind of was short of the handstand and he had to work it up to the handstand. Actually, the crowd even let out a little, oh, like they knew he made a mistake. Also, a couple skills didn't quite hit the handstand perfectly when they finished. So those can be deductions, but I'll tell you what, you find any more than that, you're just making stuff up. You know, there was a time back in, well, let's just say it was in another century. I was a little kid. I was a gymnastics junkie. And I remember I used to make up routines with stick figures on paper. And I would make up these ridiculously impossible routines for the gymnasts to do because I thought it was really cool. None of them were as hard as what we just saw Zhou do on parallel bars. I will never get tired of seeing that.
That's great. Olympic gold medalist from Tokyo, parallel bars. Had a great world championship as well, but will it beat Lukas Dauser? Is so good. I mean, incredible. Earlier in the championships with his parallel bars routines. John, what do you think, these two, head-to-head?
I think Zoe is better. I think it should be clear in my opinion, but I feel like I've been a little off on my calls on parallel bars, but he's the best in the world. No one executes like him.
Oh, you're not off at all. Wow. Look at that number.
That is a monster score.
Oh, my gosh. In the end, not close. Zhou Jingyuan from China, 16.1 and change. Even Carlos Yulo going, I don't believe that. But listen to it. Can barely hear the announcement for Joe Frazier, the 23-year-old who won the world title on parallel bars in 2019, the last man here.
Yeah, lovely, John. Come on. Nice and tight here, Joe.
Right to one bar, lots of difficulty there.
Trust it. Good. Nice. Come on, then. Let's go,
Quite the step on the landing. I was holding my breath the entire time. Loved listening to his teammates cheer for him as well.
Fought for every little bit of that. You heard his teammates saying, trust it, John.
Yeah, I thought it could have been a bronze medal winning performance, but up until that dismount, rather, the dismount he gave it away. But good effort. It hasn't been a great Worlds for Joe Frazier individually. Obviously, the most important thing to this man is the team, and that's where they won the medal. But outside of that, had a really rough all-around competition. Although hats off to him, he has overcome so much in the last year, injuries, and he even told me himself he keeps having to remind himself that he should be pleased to be here, because not a lot of gymnasts would have gone through what they went through and still been at a world championship. So we'll see some great gymnastics from Joe in the future, no doubt.
Yeah, I mentioned he fought through every bit of that routine, but has fought just to get to this point. They compete again at the World Championships. Started out great with that team event, as John said, but has kind of struggled since then.
Bit under-rotated, causing him to stumble backwards on that dismount. That's going to cost him.
Zhou of China, Dowser of Germany, Yulo of the Philippines, the top three. And you think about that bronze medal spot, 15.366, the number that Carlos Yulo posted. We wait for that number. That's 14.7. Joe Frazier ending up in 8th place. What a performance, though, from the Olympic gold medalist, Zhou Jingyuan. That's 16 and change. That's the only one we've seen, men or women, throughout the World Championships.
I was going to say that earlier. We have not seen 16s here. It's a rare score.
Lucas Dowser from Germany. The silver medal, Carlos Yulo of the Philippines, the bronze medalist in parallel bars. China now has won 5 of the last 6 gold medals in this event. And Zhou Jingyuan, just 24 years of age, won at the Olympics, and he's now won the World Championship 3 times on parallel bars. So it's Zhou of China, the gold medalist, Dowser of Germany, the silver. Yulo from the Philippines, the bronze medal here in the men's parallel bars. Two more individual events still to come. The women on floor when we continue with the action from Liverpool. Individual medal already yesterday. Jordan Childs, this in vault, Lori.
We've got her doing her Yurchenko double full. Beautiful. Small hop on the landing. Jordan's known for her consistency on vault and her power. Stunning.
Silver medal, and she had an opportunity. Was kind enough to stop by and have a word with John Roethlisberger.
Jordan Childs, silver medal on the vault. We know that you wanted this medal to be in the all-around, but talk about, nonetheless, how sweet this is for you.
Honestly, this has been an amazing thing. Not only is it my first world individual medal, but it's also my first vault medal as well. I'm just really excited. Yes, I did want to have that silver in all around, but I'm very happy for Shilese and even Jade going out there and representing Team USA how they did. And so I was really happy that I could do the same for event finals, and I'm really excited.
And you're not done yet.
No.
Do you got some gas in the tank yet for that floor, and maybe your first world gold individual medal?
I do have a lot of gas in the tank. It's definitely on high speed right now, and I'm really excited for Florida tomorrow. It's going to be a world run. It's definitely going to be a party out there, and that's something that I really enjoy doing, is having that party. So I'm really excited.
Well, we'd love to see your party on floor exercise as well. Good luck, and thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
You ready to party?
It's always a party.
Okay, I'm up for that. She's in the floor exercise final, and Jade Carey as well, the gold medalist from Tokyo on floor. That's straight ahead from Liverpool. Two more event finals to come here. The action taking place in Liverpool, and the World Gymnastics Championships inside M&S Bank Arena. Great setting, great crowd there. Terry Gannon, Lori Hernandez, John Roethlisberger with you as we get set for the women's floor exercise. And you've got two Americans in the mix, Jordan Childs, Jade Carey. But it starts Rebecca Andrade, the all-around champ, and Flavia Saraiva, another star from Brazil who was a question mark, got injured her ankle earlier in the World Championships, but she is still in the mix here, trying to win a medal on the floor. And how about Gadarova twins, Jennifer and Jessica? The place will be jumping when they're out there on floor. And Jade Carey comes in as the reigning Olympic gold medalist on floor exercise. The 22-year-old who, we just saw Jordan Childs, what she did in the vault. How about Jade Carey yesterday in vault?
Jade Carey, also known as a fantastic powerhouse. We just watched her do a Chang on vault. We'll see her Yurchenko double full next. These two as a duo, they're so fun to watch. And they're consistent, and they're ones that you can rely on. We'll see how they do in floor.
And she talked to John Roethlisberger as well.
Jade Carey, your first individual gold medal at a World Championships. You know, you didn't get that all-around medal, but this has got to feel pretty special.
Yeah, this medal definitely feels really special to me, especially after the Olympic vault final. Coming back like this means a lot to me.
You've been unbelievably consistent here at this World Championships. What is it about you that creates that calm and that consistency?
I really think that college has helped me a lot. Competing every single weekend just has helped me become more consistent, especially on bars and beam, and really getting those sets under pressure.
Well, congratulations on the gold medal.
Thank you.
And certainly one of the favorites for floor exercise, Martina Maggia warming up. It's one of the replacements here. We're just getting word. So we've got a couple of gymnasts who have withdrawn. Alicia D'Amato from Italy, and also, as we thought might happen, Flavia Saraiva from Brazil. And so Shoko Miyata from Japan is in for Saraiva. And that ankle injury sustained earlier, was it on vault in the qualifying, felt some pain, and then has affected her, wasn't able to go And so Saraiva's now, she would be one of the top names, certainly, to have a chance here.
Absolutely. Saraiva had I'd say about average start value for floor, but her execution is what brought her in first place for floor qualifications. Unfortunately, Flavia in the past has had a couple ankle injuries or situations, and so having another one here, that's really disappointing, but we still have quite the lineup for floor today.
Including Jennifer and Jessica Gadarova from Great Britain, who are scheduled to be the last two to go here.
As Jordan mentioned earlier, this is going to be a party. This is going to be quite the floor final.
Wait for that announcement. So it is the individual all-around champ, Rebecca Andrade. No Brazilian gymnast has won a medal in this event at Worlds in nearly 20 years.
Slight hop, but beautiful first pass. Andrade's known for having lots of power, which unfortunately can put her in the out of bounds. Stunning full twisting double layout second pass. Those hops out are going to be quite the deduction. Once again, artistry is something that's really valued this quad. Leaps, jumps, and turns are a part of that. Stunning double layout third pass. Quite the difficult third pass to have. Goal is typically to save energy before the fourth pass, but she's going all out. Bit of a stumble on that double pike.
Has the party started?
The party has started, Terry.
Okay.
That was quite the powerful routine from Andrade. Unfortunately, those little stumbles that we saw in between on her turns on that last pass, those are going to add up. She didn't step out of bounds, but they still count.
John, the place was jumping.
It really was, and I know that wasn't the best performance Andrade's ever had on the floor exercise, but I just want to take a moment to talk about her off the floor. She is really obviously admired in Brazil. She is a hero in that country, but you come to a World Championships and all the other athletes from other countries, they also look up to her. She is their most admired athlete, and she talked a lot about how important it is for her to be the right kind of role model in Brazil, not just be a great athlete. And we all know the story about how tough of a background that she comes from, and she really knows that and thinks it's important that she is an example to the young people in Brazil on how you can succeed despite where you come from. She's quite special on the floor and off the floor.
Yeah, talked about didn't have much in the way of money, bus fare, so her brothers would help walk her to and from practice. It was a long way. It was a 2-hour walk back and forth when she was younger. On the world stage now. Naomi Visser from the Netherlands will be next. Still waiting for the scores, though. It was Saraiva who would close out the first of 4. But both she and Alicia D'Amato have withdrawn from Italy. They were going to go back-to-back. So Maggio will be in, and Shoko Miyata from Japan will be in this final.
Almost.
Okay, 3-7-3-3, the first number on the board.
It's time for our second gymnast in this final, representing the Netherlands. Please welcome Naomi Visser.
Last time the Netherlands had a medal in this event at the World Championships 2005, 21-year-old Naomi Visser.
The Netherlands is quite known for artistry on floor. Watch her fluidity, how she looks like she's moving through water. Connected with the music. When it comes to artistry, she will have low deductions. With triple full punch front, not a common pass we see. Lots of turns combined with other turns, giving her more bonus. Those tenths will add up. Simple double full, but her execution is beautiful. Bit of a step out of that double tuck. Overall, a very clean routine for Naomi Visser. And quite the impressive first pass.
18th in the all-around on Thursday, qualified 7th for this floor final. Another look.
Keep an eye on her feet here on this triple full. She almost goes out of bounds. Oh, did she go out of bounds? Interesting angle. I want to speculate. A lot of times we'll see a flag get raised, showing that an athlete has gone out of bounds. Chest low on that double tuck. Once again, the artistry is not a common thing that we see out here, and the Netherlands is known for this, for looking like they're connected with the music. They look passionate.
Dat is niet zo goed waar ik zat.
13-7-3-3 is the number of Rebecca Andrade. Two more to go, and then it's the two Americans, Jordan Chiles and Jade Carey, before the two athletes from Great Britain, Gagarovas.
When it comes to Naomi and Rebecca, I don't believe Naomi's score can rival simply because of difficulty.
Martina Maggio,
However, you never know.
who was 9th in the all-around on Thursday, so made it to that final, had a top 10 finish there. 13-6-6-6 in second place with that execution of 7-9 and change. It's still Rebecca Andrade who leads. And if you're out there right now, you're thinking, will you please make the announcement? Let's go.
The score for Rebecca Andrade after the inquiry is unchanged.
So there's inquiry on the score for Andrade and did not change. That's the delay?
Yeah, sometimes you submit the inquiry hoping for a 10th, 2 tenths, and if they say yes, it's a matter of gold and silver.
Representing Italy, please welcome Martina Maggio.
So Martina Maggio from Italy, the 21-year-old who made her Olympic debut in Tokyo and finished just off the podium with Team Italy in 4th. 9th in the all-around, as I said, on Thursday, and a last-minute entry into this final.
Begins the routine with a stunning double layout. Front layout to double pike, slight hop forward, but she's not out of bounds. Beautiful leaps and jumps. A lot of times in rings, they won't get credit because they're not arched back all the way. She deserves credit for that. Full and third pass. This is the powerhouse routine. Finishes with a nice double back. Overall, this should score pretty well.
Didn't have a whole lot of time to think about it. Getting into the final and going out there and doing that.
There is a lot of tension between the am I going in, am I competing, am I not? Oh, I'm sitting on the side, I'm the alternate. Oh, surprise, I'm saluting and competing. It's a lot of psychological tug of war going on before alternates realize, okay, time to show up.
Double straight somersault, great landing.
Yeah, it's interesting. She actually finished 12th in the qualifications. The top 8 gymnasts compete here in the finals, and with those that dropped out and different things that happened, she has moved up, obviously, into the final. And it's not the strangest thing in the world to be a reserve. You get your chance, and you make the most of it like she did here. It wouldn't surprise me to see her sneak into that podium finish. You know, interestingly enough, she did have a 3/10 out of bounds penalty in the qualifications. Without that, she would have made the finals outright. So, and she's going to be right there in the mix, I think, as we head through this floor final.
So she was 12th and got in. Shoko Miyata outside the top 8 and was able to get into the final for Flavia Saraiva. She'll be up next. Opportunities that you didn't expect to have, and you take advantage of.
A lot of times when alternates get subbed in as well, there's a little less pressure. This understanding of, wasn't supposed to be here.
Think she'll pass Andrade?
That is the golden question, isn't it?
No.
She does not.
Got the answer, 13.533. So into third place. And the all-around champ is still on top of the standings, ahead of Naomi Visser. So, Shoko Miyata, who's been very busy this week, not only the team event, but vault, beam final, and now is in on floor. Qualified in 10th, just outside, but gets in it as Flavia Saraiva is not able to go.
flared out double layout. Whip, whip. Ooh, the fall out of that wolf turn. Gotta be careful with that. You set your hand down too early, it will count as a 1-point fall. She's landing a bit short on her twist. Finishes with a beautiful double pike. Aside from the stumble on that 2.5, that was a fantastic routine. I don't believe it'll be enough to get onto podium because of difficulty, but I would be very proud of that if I was her.
18-year-old in her first senior world championship, Shoko Miyata. John?
Yeah, I had a chance to talk with Shoko after the team qualifications, and she was beaming about Japan's performance, and their goal was just to get into the team finals, and we all know what they did. They got very close to actually winning a medal, and she even said before that, she said, I think we need to readjust what our goals are now that they've got into the team finals, and certainly they were contenders right up until the end. But great gymnastics here. Certainly getting in at the last minute didn't help. You know, that's a tough spot to be in, but I suspect Shoko and the Japanese women are going to have some great things in the next couple of years.
Yeah, Japan was competitive right to the end. You look up and you say, well, they're 7th place. They finished there, but that just begins to tell the story. They were right there at the end. Some late mistakes took them out of podium spot.
Quite the chest down on that landing. There's going to be lots of deductions in there, unfortunately. We mentioned earlier, if you can see deductions, that may not be the best thing, because even on a perfect routine, the judges are able to find a plethora of little things that fall in between.
She's really emerged this year. Been a regular on podiums throughout, whether it be in Japan or internationally.
She's been a joy to watch.
National championships back in April, won the vault title, second the all-around and floor, and 13.066. Closes it out with some emotion into 4th place, but it's Rebecca Andrade still holding on to that top spot. You do have top contenders still to come, though, including the 2 Americans who will go back-to-back next. It'll be Jordan Childs, then Jade Carey, then the Gadarova sisters, Jennifer and Jessica. Visser in 2nd place ahead of Maggio.
This second rotation for women's floor is going to be, dare I say, quite the party. If Jordan can hit, she easily contends for a podium medal. Same for Jade.
No doubt about it. Coming expectations. I mean, not just hopes, but expectations to be right there. And based on the American success through the years. I mean, look, I know Simone, but the U.S. flag up there year after year, and Simone holding the record for the most titles in 5. We've had at least 1 woman on the podium in this event at each of the last 8 world championships. 2010, the last time that no U.S. athlete was on the podium in floor exercise for the women. John, you have more?
Yeah, I'm pumped about this second half of this floor final. You have the two Americans, and then you have the Gadarova sisters, who are also finalists on this event internationally. And certainly the Americans, probably the favorites. But check this out. Jessica Gadarova in the all-around finals put up a 14-4. Equals the highest score done in this competition so far. The other person to get that was Rebecca Andrade from Brazil. Obviously, she's already in the bank, did not put up that number. So this final, it is going to build to Jessica Gadarova taking the floor. And I just hope they put enough mortar in the joints of this building, because it will crumble to the ground if she rocks that floor.
No question. And, John, it was like that. What a moment. One of the top moments, certainly, in the World Championships when she won the all-around bronze medal on Thursday.
Yeah, let's not forget, we had a British man, Giarni, win the floor gold medal earlier in these event finals. Stay tuned for these last four routines. This is a great way to finish the women's competition here in Liverpool.
But the Americans will have something to say about it. Qualifying in fourth, the announcement for the 21-year-old from Vancouver, Washington, Jordan Chiles.
Beautiful 1.5 step out to full twisting double back. Full twisting double layout from the Jordan Chiles, flaring it out at the end. We don't see that often. Great double wolf turn. Ready for this last pass. Overall, a strong routine for Jordan Chiles. High difficulty, pretty good on the execution. I think this is going to get her a great score.
So the second half of this floor exercise for the women is the U.S. against Great Britain. But the first half of the second half, it's UCLA against Oregon State. Don, what do you think?
Yeah, I think this Jordan Chiles floor routine is going to be the new leader. You know, just looking at her landings, I had maybe 5/10 total in her landing deductions. Now, that goes to the artistry part next, and that is, I don't want to say I want to get in the heads of the judges because it might be scary in there, but that it's really going to come down to that part of it. But this, to me, looks like your new leader with 3 to go. If this doesn't set the new bar, I will be surprised.
Getting in their heads would be scary, or yours? I'm confused. Which one?
All of the above, absolutely.
His has a carnival with a cannonball in it. I want to go on John's head.
Think about the season. I mean, really all the way through from Tokyo to this point, and the number of routines that she has done.
Oh, more than anyone can count. I mean, training a routine every single day and training it well, not just doing it, but doing it intentionally with care, with passion every single time. You have to be dialed in. But in doing so, that muscle memory, it gets strong.
So we'll see. Rebecca Andrade with the top number, 13.733. There are Americans, in Liverpool cheering for their team. Top number right there by a point. Jordan Chiles in the lead here, John.
Well, at least I looked smart enough to know that she would get in the lead, but I'll tell you what, the judges took 2 points off in the execution score. I said I had maybe 5 on landings. That means 1.5 points in the execution and the artistry of her dance and leaps. That's jaw-dropping to me. I don't know where they find it.
And now the stage belongs to the Olympic gold medalist on floor, Jade Carey.
Team USA's most powerful tumblers. Here she goes. Incredible double twisting double layout first pass. Comes in with a monster full twisting double layout. This routine is jam-packed. Oof. Little stumble on that double back. Her artistry has gotten much better over the years. That last pass. Full and small hop, in my opinion, that takes gold. Fantastic routine for Jade Carey. Wow.
Yesterday she won gold on vault. Will she win gold on floor today? Her teammate is in that top spot.
That was
performance.
John,
she's got a bit of a higher start value than Jordan Chiles, which helps her by about 0.3. Again, I had about 0.5 point in landing deductions. You see the small hops out of some of the passes you mentioned. Lori, she had kind of a shuffle that probably would have been a couple tenths, 2 steps out of another pass. But again, coming down to the artistry, I'm really curious because I think the judges were pretty tough on Jordan Chiles' execution, although they have been throughout the competition on floor exercise. I want to see where this one comes in and then see how the judges handle the British gymnast. I think that right there is kind of the mini drama as we get to the end here.
You're building to something. I can tell here, John.
I might be.
We'll see.
I might be. It says I'm curious to see how the judges evaluate the last 2 athletes because they have been tough on the Americans here on these. Well, we'll see Jade's score, but they were tough on Jordan. Now let's see what they do with Jade.
When the entire place is going just crazy, you're human, even a judge. I mean, I'm not saying, but it can influence. We'll see.
I'm really curious about what her score is going to be.
Colt Walker, part of the U.S. men's team, watching. Jordan Chiles. Right now, 13.833 is the number that she posted. Andrade in second, Visser in third. They went 1-2 on vault yesterday. It's kind of joking UCLA against Oregon State, but they've talked about how important that's been. It's made them better at this level, competing all the time. And I know it's a little different, that level, than elite level, but
you still get that experience.
Yeah.
Competing week in week.
Being told there's an inquiry on the Jordan Chiles score. So we'll follow up on that. Oh my gosh, it's the same number. So the tie break, and it's Jordan Chiles on top of Jade Carey on the leaderboard. The execution breaks it, and it's the same number, but Childs, then Carey, 1-2 ahead of Andrade on the board.
Wow.
First of the two twins from Great Britain. Jennifer Gadarova, part of a bronze medal winning team in Tokyo.
A little low on that landing. Beautiful double out. Lots of power going into this. She does step out of bounds. Love to that. Noticing lots of bent arms on the back handspring, causing her to not get that full extension when she tumbles.
They don't care.
Of course not. This is their home athlete. This is so fun. But the judges do.
We go back to back with the Gadarova twins. Jessica will be next. John, what do you think?
It was good. You know, I don't think her execution score should beat either Jordan or Jade, especially you look at the landing. She had a couple of short landings with big steps forward. Obviously, had that step backwards out of bounds as well. And, you know, whenever you land short and you take a step forward, at least what I've seen throughout this Worlds and even just gymnastics competitions going back, a step forward is always worse than a step back, because generally it means that you have your shoulders down, you didn't open before you're landing. Those should be evaluated more harshly. But again, we're about to find out.
That step out of bounds we just saw a moment ago. Jennifer and her twin sister, part of that bronze medal winning team in Tokyo, the first women's Olympic team medal for Great Britain in 93 years. I believe they're announcing a change in the score of Jade Carey. We'll get the details in a moment, and they've lowered the score to make it the same as Rebecca Andrade. Yeah, there we go. His score has changed. 13-7-3-3. Trying to sort this out in the moment in real time. And I believe she's in second along with Andrade. We'll try to clear that up in a moment. But they have taken 1/10 of a point away. So you see the twos. They're both in second place. They're in tied. Jordan Childs still with the lead. Jennifer Gadarova in sixth, 13.166. The cheers for Jessica Gadarova, the last one to go with a chance here. The world all-around bronze medal she won on Thursday.
interesting takeoff there. It looked like she almost started out laid out and then tucked last minute. Could be intentional. Beautiful full twisting double out. Like Jordan flares it out. Bit of a chest down on that hop. But she hits a routine.
Not many athletes get to take in cheers like these and have the stage all to themselves. But how about having the chance to go back-to-back with your twin sister and do that?
Just the fact that they both made finals as well. They should be very proud of themselves and of each other. John, what are your thoughts?
I tell you what, I think they're going to give it to her. I think they're going to give her the gold. Just the way they evaluated her sister and her sister's E-score close to an 8.0, which I thought was pretty high for that. This routine probably better, but, you know, again, regardless, the emotion and the passion from this crowd and from these British athletes has been something special all week. I think all the athletes, regardless of what country you come from, they're going to remember this and enjoy it. Hey, let's not forget, 2 Americans on the podium again. Jordan Chiles and Jade Carey are both guaranteed a medal. That tie that Jade has with Andrade, they will not break that. They go to the E score and then the D score, and if they can't break it, they keep it a tie when it comes to the medal round. So that's a great news for the Americans and Andrade.
So as
another medal as well.
As I understand it, they lowered the difficulty score from 6 to 5.9 for Jade Carey. That's why it was a 1/10 of a point lower to put her in that tie, and then the execution was the same. So they share that spot right now, the second spot. We'll see where they end up.
Yeah, and the interesting part about that is, as I'm being told, the Americans had submitted an inquiry for the D score, and they not only didn't get what they wanted, the score was reduced, and that is why the score went down.
Wow. Well, you hear the cheers. It hasn't been announced. Oh, there we go. There's the real time. 14.2. That wins it. The gold. Jessica Gadarova from Great Britain. The first gold for Great Britain in this event since 2009.
Yesterday in floor finals, Gianni Regini Moran of Great Britain won gold for floor, and now another gold for floor for Great Britain.
Jordan Chiles captures the silver medal. And it's Jade Carey, Rebecca Andrade who will each get the bronze medal.
Shouting, am I holding it the right way?
Yeah, you're right. You want it correct, because that's going to be on the front page tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
And right now on social media. Bronze medal.
Yeah, you know, I think they got it right. You know, you can split hairs all day, but Jessica Gadarova with the highest D score of these finals, actually higher than both Jordan Childs and Jade Carey. Execution certainly always in the eye of the beholder, but nonetheless, it's hard to say that she doesn't deserve to be the world champion on floor. What a week for that athlete. Pretty impressive.
Won the bronze medal on Thursday. Great Britain's first world medal in the women's all-around. Highest finish ever for the team. She was a part of that, and now wins the gold medal on floor. Jessica Gadarova with that number, 14-2. Jordan Childs, the silver medal after the silver on vault yesterday. Rebecca Andrade and Jade Carey, same number in third place, the bronze medalist. Wow, what action from Liverpool. Event finals left, and that is the high bar where Brody Malone will be one of the top contenders. John Roethlisberger earlier in Liverpool had a chance to catch up with him.
Brody, outstanding performance today, fourth in the all-around, but yet so close to that bronze medal. Is it a bittersweet?
It definitely is, yeah. I mean, today went really well compared to how the last 2 days of competition have gone. So, I mean, I'm happy with that, but it is definitely bittersweet to be that close and, you know, taste it, but just not get it. So I'm definitely motivated for sure.
Talk about that a little. It's been a rough week for you. What was different today? You look like a different person out there.
I mean, today was just kind of, I mean, just go out there and get your work done kind of day. I mean, really had nothing to lose going out there. I mean, prelims and team finals were pretty rough. Team finals was kind of a disaster for me. I mean, just kind of had to put that in the back of my mind and just go out and hit routines.
So we'll see. Comes down to this. He won a bronze medal at the World Championships on high bar last time around. And, yeah, after a rough go in the team event, the guys were pretty upset about the fifth place finish. He came back strong in the all-around, came oh so close to winning a medal. So Brody Malone and the top athletes, including Daiki Hashimoto, the reigning Olympic champ on this event, getting set to go here to round things out in Liverpool. Final individual event of the World Championships, and there is the order in which they will go. Daiki Hashimoto, certainly a favorite coming in, the reigning Olympic champ. Of Brody Malone won a medal last year, a bronze medal. Jung Bo Hung, the silver medalist in the all-around this time around, last year's world all-around champ. So you got some top names here in this men's high bar to close things out at this 51st edition of the World Championships. Terry Gannon, Laurie Hernandez, John Roethlisberger set to go here for the final event at Worlds. And it's always dicey when you come down to high bar because you've got to keep catching that bar. Absolutely.
I feel like high bar, hear me out, is almost like beam in a way. You got to stay on the equipment.
Artur Moriano from Brazil will be the first to go, qualified in 7th place, the high bar world champ in 2019.
We're looking for good swing rhythm, high flying elements, smooth catches, and lots of skill connections. Even more difficulty if you connect one after the other, just like this. Beautiful release. Great extension. Not too close to the bar.
He's quite excited.
I'd say so myself.
I think he's happy with that routine.
I would be.
John, what do you make of that?
Yeah, it was great. It was a great way to start this high bar final. Certainly had some execution errors, but love the high flying releases. You don't see, he did a front laid out release move with a full twist. You don't see a lot of those. We see mostly the Tkachev style skills, which you'll see plenty of in this final, as well as the double flipping skills over the bar. That was a unique release move. Hey, I said they set the bars high on parallel bars with that first athlete. They set the bar high for this high bar finals with that one. I think we're going to see better. That's a fun way to start.
Okay, it's getting late in the World Championships when you get there. Singular, plural. Okay, gotcha.
Set the bar high. I'm slapping my knee right now. You just can't see it.
Two-time Olympian Artur Mariano won a bronze medal on floor back in Rio in 2016. More recently, won the bronze medal, came in third and high bar at the Pan American Championships this year. So we'll see the number at least. We know the action and the standard that's been set. I think this crowd is still kind of buzzing from that floor exercise, though, and Gadarova and what she did, how she closed it up.
I think so. I mean, to have 2 gold medalists from the home country, that is definitely something to be proud of. We've got a score 14.466 for Artur.
Sun Wei will be next, the 27-year-old from China, part of a team gold yet again for the Chinese here at the World Championships. This is the man who just missed the podium at the Olympics in the all-around last time around.
Ooh. Got a Coleman there. Cassina right after. Beautiful height on these Tkachev. Comes the dismount. Stumble there on the landing. Whew. I always get a heart attack on high bar just watching.
How about you, John?
I did not quite have a heart attack, but I know the feeling. This was a great start for Sun, a great routine rather. He executed cleanly. The biggest deductions, though, he had a handstand late in the routine. Didn't look like much to the fan in the stands, but it could have been at least a 5/10 deduction just on one handstand. He did a turn to a handstand way past the vertical position. Then the dismount, 2 3/10 steps on the landing. But his release moves, I didn't have a single 10th off. It was clean otherwise. So we'll see what the judges do here. But I don't, again, great routine. I suspect he will probably be very close to our current leader, Mariano, from Brazil, if not in front. But with some big guns yet to come, I don't expect this to be your gold medalist.
So we'll get the score for Sun Wei of China, and then it is Brody Malone and Daiki Hashimoto back to back. And Brody, as you heard in the interview with John short time ago, feeling very confident coming in. Second half, early on with the men's team final, certainly a disappointment for the U.S. not being able to get close to that podium, finishing 5th, but came back strong and barely missed a medal in the all-around. Zhang Boheng still to come as well, though, in this group, as the top men in the world compete for the final medals available. Here we are with singular plural again. Medals available at the World Championships.
Do I get to say it's a party?
Sure.
Yes.
There you go. 14.433. John's right. In second place. Mariano still with the lead.
All right.
Here we go. High bar champ from the U.S. World bronze medalist in 2021. Brody Malone.
Full twisting double out.
And again.
Sticky hands on these releases. That's what we like to see. Right to handstand. Here comes the dismount.
This man's in contention.
Wow, fantastic routine for Brody Malone. John, do you think so?
Unbelievable. The best routine Brody's ever done. Unbelievable performance. The big question to me were those two handstand positions. You said it, Lori, right to a handstand on the one. The one after that, also right to a handstand. Judges are probably going to still take a 10th. They should not take more. I'll tell you what I have off on this routine. I have maybe 0.6 of a point. If they should put up a 9-4 execution score, absolutely what it should be. They won't. I'm right. They're wrong. But I'll tell you what, regardless, this is going to contend for gold. He almost had a gold medal in Tokyo at the 2020 games. He just missed that full turn to handstand that you mentioned, Lori. It could have been a gold medal routine there, maybe silver, but this one right here, right now, this very well could unseat Hashimoto. We'll see.
Oh, this is exciting.
Yeah, how close he came at the Olympics. That one little mistake, but, well, little, huge in the end. However, right now, that was sensational. Hashimoto is next to go, so he's got to follow that, which nothing ever seems to bother him. But 14.8. Execution's 8.5. Not quite what John was talking about, but higher than what we've seen and the best number that we've seen so far. The man, just 21 years of age. He wasn't yet 20 when he won the all-around gold and the high bar gold in Tokyo. He's the all-around champ at Worlds. Daiki Hashimoto.
He's known for being incredible under pressure. Short.
John, we watch him time and again, and pressure just doesn't seem to bother him. But how about that particular routine?
Yeah, he is oblivious to pressure. It was fantastic. The first thing you got to note if you're comparing him to Brody is he starts 4/10 higher. But I'll tell you what, he had an arm bend out of one of his release moves in his giant. That could be as much as a 3/10 deduction. And the handstand, again, that we noted Brody took right to a handstand. Hashimoto was well over the handstand. Absolutely should be a 3/10 deduction. It could be a 5/10 deduction, depending on how it is evaluated. That would completely erase the difference in difficulty. To me, this should be razor thin. You know, if he edges out Brody, you know, I'm not going to call for an inquiry, but if it goes the other way and Brody's on top, I think that's right as well.
You know, you talk about this man being able to come through under the bright lights time and again. And John, we were having a conversation. Kohei Uchimura, it was a conversation with him, some advice from him that really
Yeah, it's funny.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I talked to him in the mix zone, and he spoke to us in English and said, I asked him, how do you do this? How do you have ice in your veins over and over again? And he said, Kohei Uchimura came and talked with him and worked with him, and he explained to him, nothing else matters. The result doesn't matter. The people around you don't matter. It's you, your gymnastics, and the piece of equipment. And clearly, that has resonated with Hashimoto. I wish I could have called Kohei when I was a gymnast. Geez, I could have used that advice.
Well, those watching, they expect him to take over first place. I'm not so sure. Let's see how close it is, though.
Maybe one day Kohei could be our phone a friend.
I doubt it, but sure, keep believing. So 14.8 is the number Brody Malone. That's not going to get there. 14.7, and it's Brody Malone who's got the lead over the reigning Olympic champ in this event, John. Incredible.
Yeah, well, the one thing that jumps out to me, and I didn't see the same thing on the scoring monitor there, but my scoring monitor has his start value as a 6'4", 0.3 lower. I don't know what they did, but that clearly would have made the difference. But again, as I said, I could have seen it gone either way. I think Brody, just as much as Hashimoto, deserves that top spot right now.
That is stunning. Not that it was a long shot that Brody Malone could beat Daiki Hashimoto, but that it actually happened here at a world championship. Yes, that number's up there. Malone with the lead. So they'll warm up. This next group just kind of taking that in. I mean, that's big time right there.
Oh, yeah. And the fact that Brody went early on in this group, that's just nerve-wracking to sit on the chair and watch everyone go after you.
Hey, Laura and John, we've seen numbers change. Are these going to stay where they are?
Well, when I brought up the start value for Hashimoto, that's the first thing that came to mind. We saw what happened on floor with Jake Carey. You know, I'd have to go back and look at his routine that he did in the qualification to see how it might have differed. But Inquirer is certainly not out of the question here. I'll keep my eyes and ears open. But, man, what a start. That score, if it stands, I think if you made me bet, I'm going to bet that 14.8 from Brody Malone is going to hold up for gold.
That would be something else. Last year, a bronze medal, then perhaps this time around a gold. But you've got 4 gymnasts still to go, including Zhang Bohong from China, the reigning now Olympic or world silver medalist, but he won the gold last year in the all-around. Tyson Bolt be the last man up on high bar from Australia. Ilias Georgiou from Cyprus, part of the mix here, and Yuya Komoto from Japan as well.
Getting secondhand anxiousness just watching this.
Do you get anxious watching the last minute preparations?
Oh, yeah. Well, there's always a little part of me that goes, where are my grips? I'm late. Like, even if with men's, women's, doesn't matter. I'm like, oh, are we starting now?
You don't have nightmares, do you?
Oh, I sure do.
Do you? I get that.
That U.S. chime we have of the like, uh-oh, it's time to rotate.
That's not your alarm clock, is it?
Oh, it absolutely is not.
All right.
No, that's my name.
Here we go. Yuya Komoto will be the first of the last 4 to go on high bar. Qualified in 6th. And part of that silver medal for Team Japan at Worlds.
Caught with really close hands together.
with the hop at the end. What do you think, John?
It was great. It was great, but here's the deal. You know, he's got a lower start value. He's got a 6.0 start value. So to get a 14.8, you know, do the math. Let me hold on a second, get my calculator. 14.8, you know, he's got to get an 8.8 in execution score. So we haven't seen an 8.8 from anybody in this competition, this entire World Championships on horizontal bar. So to get that score, it has to be something stratospherically clean. And with that big hop, especially at the end there, he's not going to get a 14.8. But we got to talk about, you know, the medal podium as well, though. Third place right now, a 14.466. That could be in play.
Well, same start value, 6 for Mariano, who got 8.466 for execution. So, yeah, overall, 14.466. We'll see if he approaches that. Back to that top spot, which is held by Brody Malone right now. It would be pretty historic. Last gold medal in this event at the World Championships, 1979, Kurt Thomas. That's 43 years ago.
Whew. That's a good minute ago.
And that is the only one, as a matter of fact. So no, it's not going to approach that third place number. And it's still Brody Malone ahead of Daiki Hashimoto, Arthur Mariano from Brazil. But one of the top names getting ready, Zhang Bohong, 22-year-old, world all-around champ last year, silver medalist this year, helped China win team gold.
This could potentially be someone who could pass Brody. Fingertippy, that Coleman.
And the hop.
Quite the low chest on that landing. That's going to cost him.
John, when he started that routine, probably in his mind, he's thinking, I got to be nearly perfect or perfect to have a chance. What do you think?
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought, too. He's got to be perfect. And he missed his first handstand, probably a 3/10 deduction. But after that, he nailed the next one, maybe a little shy on one handstand later. But honestly, I really hard-pressed to take anything the rest of the routine until the dismount. And I could tell right when his toes came off, his hands came off the bar, his toes were not up enough. The dismount went too far away. Low landing, as Lori mentioned, that's a 3/10er, plus the step is a 3/10er. I don't see how he's going to overcome certainly Brody Malone, but even Hashimoto, I think, is going to end up on top of this score.
So a gymnast from Cyprus, one from Australia, the next two to go, the final two, with an American who's on top of the leaderboard right now, which we have not seen in 43 years in this event at the Worlds.
That's almost double my age.
.14.8's the number, not going to get close. 14.4 into fifth place. So Brody Malone is guaranteed to be on the podium. He's guaranteed a medal at this point. Will it be gold? Two more left. Ilias Georgiou from Cyprus, the 23-year-old who qualified in fourth. Graded, John.
It was good. It was very good. I mean, if it was my calculus grade, I'd be thrilled with it. But unfortunately for getting a gold medal here in this World Championships, I don't think it's going to be enough. Now, I will qualify that with he had a 15.9 start value in qualifications. If he can somehow get that up, maybe, but the execution just wasn't anywhere near really Brody or Hashimoto. He needs to get an 8.8 again in execution, and we talked about that score. An 8.8 in execution it's like moving mountains in this sport. So great performance, certainly a big moment for him, but not going to end up on the top. But again, people are taking shots at Mariano from Brazil. Who's going to move ahead of that 14.466? I think that is maybe a possibility.
Yeah, he was the first man to go. We saw how excited he was at the end, knowing that he had put down a great routine. And we don't see people missing here. I mean,
sure don't.
In a big way, they're coming through.
Absolutely. This is definitely a fantastic group of finalists here on High Bar. Consistent ones at that.
Man who won the High Bar title at the Commonwealth Games in 2022. 8th in this event last year at the World Championships. So if it doesn't challenge that 14.8 number, 14.466 is the third spot on the podium at the moment. Just wanted to listen in, eavesdrop for a moment in conversation. They're talking
Just heard
numbers.
Brody ask him what his start value is supposed to be.
So it doesn't challenge that number. 14.3 in the 6th place, and we are down to the final athlete here in High Bar with Brody Malone on top of the leaderboard. So the final one on High Bar, representing Australia, the 29-year-old Tyson Bull, who was 5th in Tokyo on this event.
Huge combination here. Ooh, too close to the bar. Way too close. Another release, just too close. If you catch with bent arms, not a good sign.
Everything you got, Josh. Come on. Come on, strong.
Tyson Bull from Australia. But in terms of the gold, is it over, John?
It's over. I tell you what, though, hats off to Tyson Bull from Australia. He went all out. We saw that combination at the beginning. Nobody in the finals did as difficult of a release combination. Couldn't quite execute it as cleanly as he wanted. But I got to give him credit. He went all out. He had a 15.9, I believe, in qualifications. I would not be surprised. I think that routine might go higher, which, again, going for broke. Tyson, I've known him for quite some time, covered him when he competed for the University of Illinois, ILL-I. He's a former college gymnast from the States, but outstanding job, went for broke, but today it's Brody's day.
Just may be, and you get the feeling more and more as we approach the final score here, that how special and, yeah, historic this is in terms of the World Championships for American men at the World Championships. Again, 1979, the last time, the only time that an American man has been on the top step of the podium wearing the gold medal at Worlds. Kurt Thomas back then. Could it be, should be, the 22-year-old from Somerville, Georgia? Third 13.766, 8th place. Now it's official. There'll be an American on the top step of the podium at the World Championships in high bar. His name is Brody Malone. First time in 43 years.
He's been wanting this for such a long time.
And he beat the reigning Olympic champ to do it, Daiki Hashimoto, who will be the silver medalist at the World Championships. Artur Mariano started off the event, this final, and will capture the bronze in tears. John, we've gotten your thoughts throughout. As a fellow U.S. all-around champ, what are your feelings right now watching this?
I think it's a beautiful thing. You know, we all have spoken very highly of Brody over the last couple of years and did not have a great start to these World Championships through the team competition. So much pressure on him to carry this team. Did better in the all-around finals, narrowly missing a medal there. We knew he had the ability to win gold here, but to actually execute it against the best in the world on that event, Hashimoto, is something else, and he did it today. Well deserved.
Man. How about the last two things that we've watched? The floor and the drama there and the ending of that, and now Brody Malone winning high bar.
I tell you, we have seen a whirlwind of incredible athletes today and quite the shuffle of scoring between inquiries and seeing who's going to come in first. This has been a fantastic World Championships.
And here's the thing, you know, you can be tabbed as a youngster to have great talent, have great potential, and then every time that you go to a big event and don't quite get there, it adds more and more and more pressure. You think about what this will do for Brody Malone in the future.
It's definitely motivation to keep moving forward in practice, to recognize that he got to where he wanted to be. This is exactly what he wanted. And now you can have the confidence that you've just won World Championships, and you go back into practice with that. You carry that with you. Keep moving forward. Huge motivator.
Individual gold medal at the World Championships for Brody Malone, the 22-year-old from Somerville, Georgia. Come back, talk about all of this in a moment. Wrap up the World Championships. Pretty exciting day two of the event finals, and started with the men's vault. Artur Davtyan, Armenia.
Beautiful stick.
Stuck that first landing, didn't he?
Gotta love it. Love some good stuck landings. Got a second vault right here. Small hop in the landing. But that height, all of this earned him first place.
Gold medal for Davtyan. First ever world title, this event for Armenia. You like the smile?
I sure do.
No
I'm
doubt.
excited for them.
And then the balance beam.
Watanabe.
Azuki Watanabe from Japan.
But a fantastic 2.5 dismount over here. Overall great routine, earning her the gold on beam finals. Lots of joy, lots of emotion.
Would not have been one of the favorites coming in, not one of the first names that you were thinking of, yeah, this athlete could win the gold. But she captures a gold, her first trip to the World Championship. This man was the favorite on parallel bars, Zhou Jingyuan from China.
The only man on P-bars in the competition with a 16.0 start value. Clean routine, stuck landing, sending him into first place.
Only 16 we saw. Was the favorite, just dominant. And how about floor? Jade Carey, Jordan Childs, the two Americans. Jade, the reigning Olympic champ on floor.
Jade unfortunately did not make podium. However, she hit a fantastic floor routine.
Yeah, she did.
She tied for bronze. That's my bad.
Her and Rebecca Andrade, who tied. Remember, the start value was reduced by 1/10 of a point. That's what put them in a tie, but they had same execution. So she gets a bronze medal, and Rebecca Andrade as well. Jordan Childs, though, who won the silver in the vault a day ago.
Her powerhouse tumbling and her beautiful execution landed her on the podium, securing another medal for Jordan at this World Championships.
But then the crowd was just waiting for the moment. Gadarova sisters went back to back, and the last one to go, Jessica Gadarova, the bronze medalist in the all-around.
Her difficulty and her large score sent her to get a gold medal on floor finals. I just know the home country was so excited about this.
Well, the crowd decided well before the judges. So you've got that moment, and they've had a number of them in Liverpool for the home crowd. And then it came down to that final one, the high bar, Brody Malone, who won the bronze medal a year ago at the World Championships on this. Sensational.
Coming in first place today, being able to break the drought of 43 years between the last gold medalist on high bar in World Championships. Go Brody!
Had to wait around to see, because the next man to go is Daiki Hashimoto, the reigning Olympic champ on that event. And the gold for Brody Malone. So you look at the results, the medalists today. Ellie Black, pretty impressive. I mean, just keeps winning medals at the World Championships.
Everybody has a way to sneak in there.
Carlos Yulo, who's been a busy, busy man, had that silver, so he made the podium in a couple of different events. Gadarova, the win over Jordan Childs, Rebecca Andrade, and Jade Carey. And then it's Brody Malone over the Olympic champ in Artur Mariano. The first man to go, posted a score. He loved it, let out a scream to tell everybody I was just great on that routine. And it held up to make the podium.
It sure did. We saw lots of emotion from him after he finished his routine and saw what place he got. The joy that we saw in the arena today is contagious.
So the Americans in Liverpool, women, great result. Again, 6th straight team title, but overall, the men and the women, 8 medals in all. 6 straight titles for the team. Charlize Jones, Jordan Childs, Jade Carey, each winning 3 medals. And Jade the gold on vault.
Means fantastic things for Team USA, especially in the upcoming Olympic Games. This World Championships will be considered. All of their accomplishments will be looked at as, hey, they can hit under pressure. We can use them.
Tied for Japan with 8 medals, #1 in all at the World Championships. And Brody Malone's gold, I think, going to go a long way in terms of the confidence from this point forward. He already had it. He's been a confident athlete, certainly as a youngster, but it takes a step up with the gold medal here at the World Championships. Been terrific from Liverpool all week. Lori, it's been great with you. Great to have you in the booth.
Wonderful.
Been great. For Lori Hernandez, John Roethlisberger, and our entire NBC Sports crew, I'm Terry Gannon. Thanks for watching. So long, everybody, from the World Championships.
The gold medal, Aliana Hagen, FIG Athletes Commission President. Presenting the silver medal, Mike Darcy, Chair, British Gymnastics. Presenting the bronze medal, Jen Folding, Strategic Lead for the Major Sports Events, Liverpool City Council and World Gymnastics Championships 2022 Local Organising Committee Board. China. That concludes the medal ceremony for the men's parallel bars final. Please congratulate our medalists and thank our presentation party for the evening. For the women's floor final is about to commence. Please welcome our medalists and presentation party into the arena. Presenting the gold medal, Nicolas Pompain, FIG Secretary General. Presenting the silver medal, Helena Lario, Women's Artistic Gymnastics Technical Committee member. Presenting the bronze medals, Simon Morton, MBE, Deputy CEO, UK Sport. In joint third place and winner of the bronze medal, representing Brazil, Rebecca Andrade. And in joint third place and winner of the bronze medal, representing the United States of America, Jade Carey. In second place and winner of the silver medal, representing the United States of America, Jordan Childs. representing Great Britain, Jessica Gadirova. Please welcome our medalists and presentation party into the arena. of the bronze medal, representing Brazil, Arthur Mariano. In second place, and winner of the silver medal, representing Japan, Daiki Hashimoto. And in first place, winner of the gold medal and world champion, representing